Chapter 1. Static in the Storm. The storm had been building for hours. A slow, relentless crescendo of wind and waves. The MV Derbyshire, a massive bulkhead cutting through the Pacific, rolled heavily in the swells, her steel hull groaning under the strain. Inside the wheelhouse, the crew moved with practiced efficiency, checking instruments, adjusting course, trading grim glances. The radio crackled with static, voices breaking through in fragments. Derbyshire, this is Tokyo Radio. Weather conditions deteriorating. Advise immediate. Captain John Coward stood at the helm, his hands steady on the wheel. A veteran of the seas, he had weathered storms before, but this one felt different. The waves were higher than forecast, the winds howling like something alive. The ship's radar flickered, its signal weak against the interference. Outside, the horizon had vanished. Swallowed by the black churn of the sea, Captain, the second mate, called over the noise. We're losing contact with Tokyo. The signal's fading. Coward nodded, his jaw tight. Keep trying. We need a fix on our position. The Derbyshire was a modern marvel, one of the largest bulkheads in the world, built to endure the harshest conditions. But the Pacific in September was unpredictable, and the storm had come out of nowhere. The crew had been monitoring the weather. But the reports had been vague, the warnings too late. Down in the engine room, Chief Engineer John Jones wiped sweat from his brow, the heat of the machinery mixing with the tension in the air. The ship's systems were holding, but the strain was visible in the flickering lights, the occasional shudder through the deck plates. He radioed up to the bridge. Captain, we're running at reduced power. The engines are taking a beating. Coward's reply was calm, but the urgency was there. Do what you can, John. We need to ride this out. The storm raged on, the Derbyshire fighting to stay on course. The crew worked in shifts, exhausted but focused. The radio continued to sputter, voices coming in and out, distress calls from other ships, fragmented updates from coastal stations. Then a new sound cut through the static, a high-pitched whine like metal tearing. Captain, the radio operator, shouted, "Something's wrong with the hull. The sensors are picking up stress fractures." Coward's stomach dropped. The Derbyshire was designed to withstand anything, but the sea had a way of finding weaknesses. He ordered an immediate check of the cargo holds, the ballast tanks, every critical system. The crew moved quickly, their boots echoing through the empty corridors. Then the unthinkable happened. A deafening crack split the air, followed by a shudder that ran the length of the ship. The lights flickered, then died. Emergency generators kicked in, casting the decks in. A sickly red glow. The radio went silent. Captain, the second mate, yelled over the chaos. "We've lost the starboard ballast tank. She's taking on water." Coward's mind raced. The Derbyshire was listing now, the deck tilting under their feet. The storm outside was worse than ever, the waves crashing over the bull like a relentless assault. He barked orders, but the ship was fighting back. The crew scrambled to seal compartments, to pump out the water, to stabilize the vessel. But the sea was winning. The Derbyshire groaned, her steel bones bending under the pressure. The radio crackled back to life, a final, desperate transmission. "Mayday, mayday. This is the MV Derbyshire. We are sinking. Position 33 degrees north, 130 degrees east." Then silence. The last voyage of the Derbyshire had ended in the dark, in the storm, in the depths of the Pacific. 44 men gone in an instant, their fate swallowed by the sea. But the mystery was only beginning. The wreckage would not be found for years. The black box would remain silent. The truth would lie buried in the abyss, waiting to be uncovered. And when it was, the world would realize that the Derbyshire had not just been lost to the storm. She had been lost to something else entirely, something hidden in the deep, something that would change everything.